Hey, gang, the Parx Sportsbook and online casino app, they've got you covered for pro and college football online and in person at Parx Casino, Shippensburg. It's fall. It's a great time to take a drive into central Pennsylvania and check out Pennsylvania's newest casino. Hagerstown, Maryland, Winchester, Virginia, Chambersburg, PA, Martinsburg, West Virginia. I'm looking at you. You can get lucky in no time at all at Pennsylvania's newest casino. The all-new Parx Casino in Shippensburg is also smoke-free. Less than an hour from Harrisburg, the state capital. 500 state-of-the-art slot machines inside. 48 live dealer electronic table games featuring blackjack, roulette, and more. A great happy hour. It begins at 4 p.m. Hey, it's 4 p.m. somewhere. Bet sports on the Parx Sportsbook kiosks located in the casino, and then stay and watch all the action. Fun spot inside the casino is called the Side Pocket, where comedy night is every Friday night with hilarious headliners. Live music every Saturday night. They got it all going on there. Check it out. Just off Interstate 81. Visit Parx, PARXcasino.com. You got to be 21. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Time now for headlines from the Thursday edition of the newsletter. Yesterday, 29,929 votes were cast. Who needs a second debate more? 53.77% saying Donald Trump, 46.23% saying Kamala Harris. I was in that category of Harris for the reasons that I articulated on the program yesterday, namely that I think the last 6 weeks have been really problematic for Trump and really strong for Harris. And although her numbers are much better than were President Biden's before he dropped out of the race, then came that Sunbelt poll from New York Times and Siena College, which showed that in the Sunbelt battleground states, we're talking Georgia, Nevada, and Arizona, Trump is in the strongest position that he's been. And so despite what was a terrible performance by him in the debate, she's not leapfrogged ahead. You would think that she's doing better than she's doing, or I would. And therefore, I know the conventional feel is that she's got Trump on the run, therefore he needs a debate, when in fact, I think he's got that rock solid 45, 46%. I'm not saying he's winning. I'm certainly not saying that he will win. I am saying she hasn't put him away. And I think, therefore, she needs the debate. And I watched the interview. I'll come back to this in a moment. I watched the interview that she did with Stephanie Ruhle. She's really good on her feet. And I think if there were a second debate, she'd do well again. It brings me to today's poll question, which I love. Will the election be as close as the current polls suggest? This is a close one. I can tell from the early voting. Right now, the Real Clear Politics average says, it's Trump 47.1, Harris 49.2. If you look at the next line in the battleground states, if you're watching on YouTube, 47.8 for Trump, 47.6 for Harris. So it's darn close. And then you can go into each of the battleground states, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan. It's all margin of error stuff. Interesting to go back in history. I've been paying close attention since 1980. 1980 was a landslide. Ronald Reagan got 489 electoral votes against Jimmy Carter. It was a 9-point win, round numbers 50 to 41. We used to have elections like that. In other words, for the benefit of those watching on YouTube, Aleko, put that map up. Just look at the paucity of blue on that. It's a sea of red for Ronald Reagan. 1984, he does even better against Walter Mondale, 525 electoral votes. Walter Mondale wins only his native Minnesota. Do you think we'll ever see a presidential map like that again? Not in my lifetime. 49-1. Mondale in terms of the state voting. 1998, Papa Bush gets 426 electoral votes. It's still an 8-point race against Dukakis. 92, Clinton against Papa Bush. Pretty decisive win, 370 electoral votes. It's a 6-point win. 96, the Clinton re-election is a 9-point victory. Here's 2000. 2000, of course, razor thin. Do you remember that W got just one more electoral vote than is necessary? 271. And of course, the race was very, very narrow. Al Gore won the popular vote, and the Supreme Court decided the outcome. 2004, it's a more comfortable margin for George Bush. He's got 286. It's still just a 2-point race, but Bush does win the popular vote. 2008, Barack Obama, 365 electoral votes, a pretty decisive victory for Obama in 2008 against John McCain. It's a 7-point race. 2012, Obama's reelection, 332 electoral votes. Okay, 2016, when it's Trump and it's Clinton, he gets 304 electoral votes. It's a 2-point victory for her in the popular vote. Interesting. And of course, 2020, Biden gets 306 electoral votes, and it's a 4-point victory for Biden in the popular vote. 538's Elliot Morris wrote about this. We published it in the newsletter yesterday, and he went through all the data and then says, after going through all the data, but while the polls point to a close race today, the election is also close in the sense that small polling misses or slight changes in the national environment could lead to one candidate winning by a comfortable margin. What? Which is why I'm asking today, is the race going to be as close as these polls suggest? Have some fun with today's poll question. Have some fun with today's, well, it's not a funny cartoon. Steve Breen draws for us today, Battleground States. Steve Breen draws for us every Thursday. I love that cartoon. I remind you, October 7 is a week from Monday. A week from Monday, your final day to order a Smerconish book. 100% of the profits benefiting the Children's Crisis Treatment Center. And if you're so inclined to come to a fancy party where we're going to raise money for CCTC, you can watch me present the check. December 6th, I'm handing over the money. Already, it's in the tens of thousands of dollars. Isn't that wonderful? Make sure you're there. Guess who will be there? TC will be there. TC will be in the house. True.
I will be in the house. Hey, is it a fancy party or is it like a jeans and cowboy hat party? Because I've been to this in the past and I thought it was a jeans and cowboy hat party. So I need to know what the dress code is.
You can do either.
So I can start getting my... Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I mean,
but it's not like a gown. It's not like a gown party.
No, it is not a gown.
Okay, because you say fancy, and it is like the food and drink. Well, phenomenal.
It's at the Bellevue. The Bellevue's a wonderful place, and the main ballroom there is really gorgeous, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun. There's no pressure. There is pressure to buy a book. There is pressure. Let's be very clear about that. Buy Smerconish. There's no pressure to come to the event. I simply thought that where I know when I'm presenting the check, if there are listeners in the Northeast who want to come out and support a charity, you're invited to be there. But no pressure to be there.
Say, when you just said that the deadline for books is a week from Monday, it is blowing my mind that a week from Monday is October 7th, because that is also means that a week from Monday we are under a month till the final day of voting.
Also true. And it also means that a week from Tuesday, veteran criminal defense attorney William J. Brennan will be calling TC and saying, how do I get a book? Where are the books?
Don't besmirch him.
Why are you throwing him under the bus?
Huh?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, I'm trying to think of somebody who's going to call TC and say, I need books.
Throw me under the bus.
Okay, it'll be Dan. It'll be Dan
fine.
will be calling TC and saying, Madge needs a book. What am I supposed to do?
Right.
Okay?
Madge and Warren deserve a book.
Yes.
Everybody deserves a book, but there's no friends and family plan. Okay? I've served notice on this. No friends and family plan in this instance. Everybody buy a book. All right. Thank you. More headlines now from the Thursday edition of the newsletter. Let me run quickly through the serious news. It's all covered in the newsletter. Our lead story is that Eric Adams has been indicted. I am the least surprised. Errol Lewis was my guest on the program 2 days ago. We ran through what was then known about the New York City mayor's legal entanglements. I said to Errol, he agreed. The feds don't stop the security detail of the New York City mayor and seize his personal phones unless they've really got him. And indeed, now comes the indictment. He's fighting it. We'll follow it. Hurricane Helene is going to make landfall tonight. Another major story. If you're in the South, be on guard, be prepared. That's a significant situation. Hurricane Helene forecast to intensify as it heads for a potentially catastrophic Florida landfall tonight with possible record storm surge. Also in serious news, the U.S. is pushing for a 21-day ceasefire in the situation with Lebanon and Israel. We hope that happens. Political news, I think the most significant thing of the last 24 hours is that Vice President Harris did sit with Stephanie Ruhle for a one-on-one on MSNBC. I watched it, and I thought that it was a good interview, that she did well. The New York Times, and Mark Halpern highlighted this, the New York Times was very critical insofar as they said, hey, she's not sitting for interviews, and this was a softball interview. I was surprised that it was the Times that said that. Quote, Ms. Ruhle joined Ms. Harris in attacking Mr. Trump. His plan is not serious when you lay it out like that, and avoided posing tricky questions about positions Harris supported during her 2020 presidential campaign, or what, if anything, she knew about Mr. Biden's physical condition or mental acuity as his own campaign deteriorated, which is perhaps why Ms. Harris agreed to the interview in the first place. Right, or probably the campaign watched what Stephanie Ruhle said to Bill Maher last Friday night and said, there's our person. The fact that it was the Times that said that, I thought was of significance. Another story, RFK will not comment on the quote-unquote personal relationship that he had with the New York Magazine reporter. He doesn't, no Moss. He's not going to say anything about that. New York Post story about Diddy and all that baby oil. 1,000 bottles of baby oil in the rapper's home. What did his lawyer say? I don't think it was 1,000. I think it was a lot. I mean, there is a Costco right down the street. And I think
Costco does not want to be involved.
And I think, can you buy 1,000 bottles of baby oil at Costco? At Costco.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, why not?
Order on Amazon. Yeah. You can order it. That's not the point.
Right, but his lawyer said there's a Costco. First of all, are there other uses for 1,000 baby oil, containers?
That kind of purchase is just, you're going down a slippery slope with that. And
seriously?
Whack.
Oh boy, slippery.
I'm sorry. Sold myself out.
No, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Is there obviously you can use baby oil for what you usually use baby oil for. You don't have to use it for
babies?
What do they call it? A freak?
For what?
Yes.
A baby?
What do you mean?
Yes. I remember.
Are you asking me if there's a use for baby oil that's not sex? Yes. The answer is yes.
Okay, beyond sex and babies.
Well, yeah, it just feels good on your skin.
Yeah, it does. I agree.
Moisturizer?
It's a great moisturizer.
Elbows?
It's a deep moisturizer.
You can use it for shaving. You can use it for dissolving your makeup. You can clean shower curtains with baby oil.
What?
It improves skin texture and skin health, protects your skin. You can detangle necklaces. I'm sure TC does this all the time with baby oil.
What did you look up?
It's a lubricant.
What? Yeah. Watch what you Google.
Yes, uses for baby oil. Yes.
I own a
DIY moon sand for kids. Yes.
I own a very large chain of daycares, actually, and I just need a huge bulk.
I don't think so. In his case, I don't think so.
No.
The lawyer says, here's more from the lawyer. And these are consensual adults doing what consensual adults do. We can't get so puritanical in this country to think that somehow sex is a bad thing, because if it was, there would be no more people. Well, okay, I'll agree with all of that, but it remains to be seen, was it all consensual, and what other celebrity names are going to emerge in the freak-off story? Inquiring minds want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Okay, I love this story. Let us lighten the load. It's from CNN. TC, this is your kind of story because you are a foodie.
Oh, yes.
20 great American dishes. Some of these are a surprise for reasons I shall explain. Coming in at number 1 on the list, barbecue. People enjoy barbecue around the world, but Americans have taken a collective passion for low-and-show cooked meat to the next level. Spanish conquistadors brought the cooking style practiced by indigenous Caribbean tribes north. It's arguably one of the most argued about foods in the United States, and we're well aware of the grand pizza rivalry. 4 classic regional barbecue rivalries and styles reign: the Carolinas, Texas, Memphis, and Kansas City. So barbecue number 1. Coming in additionally, okra, Cobb salads, a P&J. You saw me, PJ. You came backstage in Asheville, and I was having my pre-speech meal, and
you had a surplus of P&J,
and I gave you one,
and the crew. You fed the crew, which was very nice.
But the P&J for me, first of all, it's always been a comfort food of mine.
Wait a minute.
It settles the stomach.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Did you pack it from home? Did you bring it from home?
No, I had my hotel prepare a go pack.
Oh, I just wanted to make sure. I wasn't sure where the actual P&J was coming from. I wanted to make sure that you gave PJ the right P&J.
I'm gonna probably have a P&J today because I will be on the run post show, ready to interview Secretary Clinton and some other folks, and just a small window to eat, and that's the perfect kind of a pre-interview, pre-speech meal. But only eat half is my tip.
Also, people on YouTube are asking why you call it a P&J. What he means is PB&J, peanut butter and jelly, just to be clear.
In our house,
but he's always said
P&J.
P&J.
Really?
Yeah, I know you've always said that.
Wait, that? Yeah. Oh, I thought P&J was like a brand of barbecue. I missed a step in the conversation.
No. He means PB&J.
No, beyond barbecue. Here are the best American. What did they say? Dishes. Again, okra, Cobb salad, P&J, PB&J, I guess to some of you. Fry bread, red beans and rice, hamburger, apple pie, poke, chili clam.
Poke bowl.
Chili clam chowder. And how about this? General Tso's chicken. What? And here's
amazing.
The explanation.
It's so American.
Americans have a special knack for modifying a dish so thoroughly that people in the point of inspiration might even recognize it. Case in point, General Tso's chicken. And then further along on this list, a Reuben, grits, chocolate chip cookies, gumbo, mission burrito, banana pudding, spaghetti and meatballs, American. For the same reason, we've modified it.
I love that. I love this list. This list I found myself scrolling through it and saying that I wanted all of it. And I got very, very hungry. I just thought it was so cool and so interesting and so very American. Yeah, I thought it was great. Really fun.
Under spaghetti and meatballs, have you ever dreamed of going to Italy and enjoying some authentic meatballs and spaghetti after a long day on the canals of Venice or in the museums of Florence? Well, keep dreaming. Unless you go to a restaurant catering to U.S. tourists, for this is a dish whose domain is New World Atlantic, not Old World Mediterranean. We do have Italian immigrants to America, the vast majority from southern Italy in the late 1800s, early 1900s, to thank for the comforting combo of meatballs and tomato sauce over pasta. So the combo got put together when they were here. Eggs Benedict also comes on the list. TC, it is a Thursday. I am mindful of TC After Dark. Tell us what you've got cooking.
So I don't do this very often, but I interviewed an author that you also interviewed. And it occurred to me that I've done this maybe a handful of times, like Anthony Mazzarelli, Annie Duke, Angela Duckworth. But I did interview Valerie Borline on The Devil at His Elbow because I just thought that book just hit me so much. And I thought that it was incredible. But I found that I was not, it is not for someone necessarily that hasn't read the book. My suggestion is go read it, bookmark my podcast and come back, because I was sort of batting cleanup for everything else that I had heard. Like, what else did I want to know? What I wanted to know was about the title of the book, The Devil at His Elbow. And it's a quote from Cormac McCarthy in his book, Blood Meridian. Here's a quote. "You can find meanness in the least of creatures, but when God made man, the devil was at his elbow, a creature that can do anything." And I thought that was really interesting because I always thought she was saying that the devil was at Alec Murdoch's elbow. The devil was there, but really the devil was at God's elbow when he made man itself.
When he made him in particular. The Borline book is great. It was part of my end of summer bonanza of great books. Michael Lewis's book, Going Infinite, on Sam Bankman-Fried was great. David Sanger's book, New Cold Wars, heavier now, was really great. Max Boot's biography of Ronald Reagan, also terrific. And I'm leaving one or two off the list, but there's just been some great stuff out there. Listen to TC's interview, TC After Dark, and then go and just survey the list of my book club podcasts, because they are terrific and we are constantly cranking them out. Really a lot of great material. Okay, gang, today's a wonderful poll question. Have some fun. Will the election be as close as the current polls suggest? Thank you for watching on YouTube. Most importantly, thank you for listening on Sirius XM POTUS. Go now order a copy of Smerconish. A week from Monday, October 7th, is the final day. That's it. Thank you.